Hello, this is Tony Heller from Visitech.ai. In this short video, I'm going to show some of the basic use cases for Visitech technology. I've been working with visualizing data for more than half a century, and I developed this app specifically to solve real-world problems. The most fundamental problem is easily graphing data without needing to use a spreadsheet. In the first use case, we're going to go to a government website and download the data. Now we go back to the Visitech website and drag in the data we just downloaded. Now we have an interactive graph which we can easily zoom and pan. If we hover over it, we can see the values. Now let's look at another use case. NVIDIA stock price. Now we have an interactive candlestick chart of NVIDIA's stock price. Let's add another graph. Google stock price. We can zoom and pan to any level of detail we're interested in. All of our graphics are GPU accelerated, so we can do this very quickly. Now let's try looking at a large number of data points. I want to look at all of the temperatures recorded at Bloomington, Indiana. This brought up a map of all of the United States Historical Climatology Network thermometers in Indiana. Let's zoom in on Bloomington. Now I'm going to click on Bloomington to bring up the temperatures. Now we have a graph on the left side of all 46,035 daily maximum temperatures recorded at Bloomington, Indiana. It's completely interactive, and we can zoom and pan quickly at any level. I'm going to reset the zoom and then create a different type of graph. I'm going to do Operation Graph by Year. We now have a fully interactive spaghetti plot on the left side of the graph. What the graph shows is all of the daily maximum temperatures recorded at Bloomington, Indiana from January through December, and each line represents a different year. We now have temperatures during the year 1902 highlighted, and we can change that easily to any other year. This sort of graph is very difficult to create by any other means, but using Visitech we did it in just a few seconds. Spaghetti plots are widely used by scientists. Now we're going to look at a different use case, a business data set. On the right side, we now have a map showing where all of our sales occurred. Let's do some analysis on the data. Software sales per country. Now on the left side, we have a graph showing the total software sales per country. Let's try a different query. Total computer sales in Australia per day. Now we have an interactive line graph on the left side showing the results of our query. Let's go over to the Options tab and see how that graph was created. We sent a natural language query off to the LLM and it returned SQL code. This SQL code is then executed on the client, so your data is kept private. Let's look at one more use case, crime data from Washington, D.C. We now have a map of all of the crimes reported to the Washington, D.C. Police Department so far this year. Let's create a graph of all the violent crimes reported per day. We can see now that on April 12th, there were 15 violent crimes reported in Washington, D.C. Let's take a closer look at those. Violent crimes on April 12th. We now have an interactive map of all the violent crimes which occurred in Washington, D.C. on April 12th. If we want to find the details, we simply click on it. In less than 5 minutes, we've done a tremendous amount of work on Visitech, which by any other means would have taken a very long time. We're just barely scratching the surface of our capabilities in this video. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I designed this technology to solve real-world problems. Thank you for spending your time watching this.